I think it's a good idea just to like give a basic, lesson in, how this technology evolved. As far as I know, in 1910, Michael Pupin, who was an immigrant, in at Columbia University, he was an engineer, also an electrical engineer, figured out how to see what a person sees from behind the head in the infrared. And Pupin studied under a German guy named Helmholtz, who also was very interested. Helmholtz invented the ophthalmoscope, a device where they look inside the eye. They were very interested in seeing thought, but they didn't announce that, apparently. And but Pupin figured it out, and I don't know how he did it. But they basically, I think he tuned a circuit to the infrared or radio. People are saying it's like a 10 centimeter wavelength or 30 centimeter wavelength, basically, or photon interval, wavelength of light, where you can see from behind the head. If you tune an array of pixels, of the photon detectors to, and we're talking an array of like 100 by 100, 10,000 of these tiny tuned circuits. It's not a simple circuit, you can actually see what the eye sees, because neurons must emit photons of a certain frequency. The molecules in the neurons emit a certain frequency that can be isolated. So you can see what a person sees without physically connecting into their neurons. The brain is filled with thousands upon thousands of tiny, tiny little neurons. When Pupin figured that out, he must have also seen that not only can you see what a person's eyes see, but you can see what the images that the brain generates itself. And when this happened, it must have sent ripples through Columbia University. It must have sent ripples through the government in New York City and even to the White House. Probably Taft, who was president, I think then, probably received a message first thing in the morning that Michael Pupin has, succeeded at seeing thought, and it's an amazing set of images that are coming out of Columbia University this morning, of Pupin's assistants and Pupin's mind and their thoughts, and it's a new world of seeing eyes and thoughts. And do you think they shared that, the New York Times and everybody with the planner? No, they didn't. They were decrepit. They kept it a secret. And then, of course, once this happened, people thought, oh, wow, just like, nuclear technology, like nuclear fission, anytime there's a new scientific advance, everybody flocks into the science and starts experimenting. And so within a year or less than a year, they figured out how to hear thought, and then, even how to send images and sounds to brains. Although that may have come later, it's tough to really know, but somehow they figured out how to activate neurons in a way to, send an image and a sound, or even to move a muscle remotely. Galvani had moved muscles physically, electronically. And the amazing thing is, it must be so difficult, it must be impossible for the average person to believe that eyes and seeing thought and hearing thought could be ever technically and scientifically possible. It is so beyond comprehension that has been the biggest advantage to those people who have been in on the secret for 100 years, because the public just simply refuses to believe that type of thing is possible. But then again, they've never been told that it is. So that's one thing that's amazing. But, amazingly, Yan Dang at Berkeley has already produced images of what a cat sees, but she physically connected to the neurons. But so it's not incredibly difficult to believe that such a thing is possible. And then you can go through the huge list of clues, like Andre Marwaz's book, The Thought Reading Machine, The Thought Hearing Machine, or Thought Reading Machine. In 1937, this guy was telling about hearing thoughts. So all those things you should look into. And it's something, as an outsider, is what you probably are, as I am. You need to educate yourself.